All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 4 of the November Tuesday Night Swiss. It is November 25th. I wrote down the date on my scorecard, 11/26. I guess I don't know the dates. And I went in tonight assuming the matchup said it was that I was supposed to play Aria, Tirani, Mansouri. I assumed that they would swap on me, and lo and behold, they swapped on me. Granted, this is the week of Thanksgiving. A lot of people called in sick, a lot of people unregistered. Kind of not surprising for this week. So I wasn't actually surprised to see my pairing get flip-flopped. I am playing against Jamie Fallon. I have the white pieces, and I've now played Jamie a lot. I think this is my 4th game against him. He is the person I played my second ever game, my first ever loss, and since then I am unbeaten against him. We'll see how tonight goes. I decided I was going to try something a little different, which is not run the analysis right away, but rather go through the lines that I pictured, so that I wouldn't be kind of, teased by what the computer says. I've been wanting to do this, and I've literally been meaning to build my new computer for like 2 months now, or I guess it's been a month and a half. Something keeps happening. This is going to be a busy week as well. So apologies if when I turn on the engine, things all of a sudden get like really, really messed up. I really hope not, but I think for my own mindset, I want to run this without the computer, at least initially. All right, as far as thoughts about Jamie, he's having a rough event. He is winless. Jamie is kind of this interesting rating where he kind of teeters between either being the best player or one of the best players in the lowest section, or, and I don't mean this like insultingly, the weakest player in the middle section. I can relate to that. I understand that altogether. My homework was pretty easy. I'm not playing for any tournament money. If I win, I'll finish on 2.5 points. It'll be a good tournament. If I lose, I'll finish on 1.5 points. It'll be kind of a bad tournament. And if I draw, I'm not even sure if I gain rating or what net, probably, but it would be pretty net even. Whereas if I won, I'd at least end the month, continuing to climb up, gain rating. Also, for my own monthly score, if I win tonight, and you'll see if I do, I'll finish break even on the month. I have not had a losing month yet, and this month I played very strong players, so I was -1 on the month so far. Because I played the quad in the Tuesday night tournament. Nonetheless, Jamie runs late to the game. He got about 5 minutes late, 6 minutes late. I started the clock. I played D4. I was considering dicking around, but I'm still learning the Catalan. It's still technically a new opening for me, so I just committed to going into a Catalan structure. Jamie answers with D5. I play C4. Which is the natural Queen's Gambit. He kind of he laughed when I played this. He's like, Queen's Gambit. And I said, yes, we are playing the Queen's Gambit. A lot of my other lines are like Knight C3, when I've been kind of doing like building up the attack here. When I play like these E3 moves, definitely more passive. I have a lot of games in that structure. I've been really working hard at the Catalan structure, which is the early G3. So that's kind of what I committed to in my mindset for this game, kind of regardless of what my opponent played. He answers with Knight F6. Oh, I'm trying to think if there's any other things to mention. Not really. I know Jamie's style at this point. I'm not going to comment too much about that. I just want to say that, we'll see. We'll let the chess speak for itself. How about that? Anyway, we're banging out the early moves pretty quickly. This is the QGD Catalan opening with the early G3. He answers with C6. I've gotten this structure a lot. It's kind of like the, I don't exactly know. Okay, it's the Slav. It is the Slav. I mentioned that in another game. I was like, I've played against the Slav so much. So he's basically playing the Slav against me. I've seen this online a million times. I'm very familiar with basically this pawn structure, if you will. Jamie plays bishop e4, which is fine. I'm pretty sure that the right answer is bishop here, and normally they go trade. My idea is I want my knight here supporting c4 and preparing an e4 push. I'm going to be playing for e4. I'm going to try to break the c pawn so that I can open up. I'm always looking for these knight e5 jumps. That's where a lot of the tricks from the Catalan come. Otherwise, I'm going to be castling. Nope, not there. I'm going to be castling and just play my king safety. He has opted not to fianchetto his own bishop. So I'm never really worried about my rook on a1. All right. Nonetheless, I think in this position, no, I don't think in this position. This one's pretty clear cut. He plays a5. A5. I told him at the board, and I know it's like People play this online sometimes too. I am so used to just trading. I'm sure a5 is a solid move. I've played against it online, but I'm going to be honest. The first 6 moves I played immediately. When he plays this, I realized, like, oh, I'm actually kind of out of book. I know that this is a move. It's not a bad move, but I had to think about what my options were. So this is where I did like a 10-minute think. So I'm going to kind of show the moves I was thinking and kind of why I was thinking it. This is going to be the first, like, I wouldn't even quite say critical position, but I would say this is the first, moment of truth. For the record, I end up trading. My idea is trade, pawn takes, and then I move my knight, and then he has these doubled pawns on the b file. That's a long-term weakness. I know in a lot of the lines you want your queen on b3. If I'm attacking the dangling pawn, that's probably good for me. He wouldn't quite have pawn takes c4, because if I rerouted my knight, then boom, I just take, and then the position starts opening up for my light square bishop. So that's what I liked. I also considered, perhaps not surprisingly, is a3. And the reason why is this forces, unless he wants to move back, kind of lose a tempo, or a tempi, I guess, move there. I thought this was very comfortable for me. I could then maybe even have long-term plans of basically getting the dark square Fianchetto, kind of on that long diagonal, still with developing my knight to this square. And if he then trades here, then I'm still developing, and I've played a3 in this position, which is probably an improvement, because this pawn on a5 is not necessarily doing anything. I might be playing for b4 ideas, then like trade, and life is good. The other move I considered here was simply castles. And the reason why I thought this was fine is if he wants to trade, that's fine. If he doesn't, he's not really doing anything there. I always have the a3 ideas. I'm pretty sure I'm always castling. The reason I didn't love this is I thought that in this position, he actually has knight e4. And then I thought I was kind of forced here. And I thought here, with his knight in a better square, because I don't exactly have this move, but maybe I do. Maybe it's something like this. I don't know. To me, I wasn't sure if this was good or bad. Yeah, so I also realized now that I'm going to slowly announce this down, because when I switch to having the computer on, I really need to stop saying this or that, this or that. I feel like I'm rapping or something. Anyway, whatever. I decided to trade just because I thought this was a forcing line, where the net result was that it's good for white, and I could be mistaken, but conceptually with the doubled pawns on the b file where he already has a weakness, moreover with the Slav setup, his light square bishop is terrible. He has nowhere to go, so I thought immediately I had 2 clear small advantages: the pawns doubled on the b file and a very bad light square bishop. Would have the more active bishop. He's still not totally developed, so he's not even having a lead in development, and I thought from this position this was a pleasant position for me. So I go knight b to d2. The reason why is if he ever wants to trade, that's great for me. I start jumping with my knights. I think trading is bad for him. But again, I'm really playing for e4. Do either e4, e5 ideas, or like breaking open the center. And that's kind of how I'm supposed to make progress in this position. I like that. Jamie answers with knight b to d7, and I thought this was a mistake. So what I thought he should do with opening the file is I actually thought he should play this move, knight a6. And the reason why is it's going to be locking up the pawn, basically holding on to the advanced b4 pawn. And maybe he himself would have an idea of c5. Again, he's got to find a way to like make this bishop active, and I thought that would be a creative way to do so. Again, if you can ever land c5, then maybe he has something going on the queen side. And I thought the only way to do that is by moving knight a6. So I'm kind of curious what the computer says. When I was thinking about his moves, I thought that was the move that made the most sense. Instead, the reason why I didn't think knight b d7 was great is now, the bishop is obviously terrible. He doesn't have a jump to c5, or for the record, to e5. I'm just taking away those squares. And if I ever am able to kind of push on the f6 rook, the f6 knight, he would basically have to make another backwards move. And so yeah, I thought this was an accuracy. So kind of curious what my instincts are correct. Anyway, I looked at that. I thought that was a mistake. And in this position, I calculated either queen b3, and I didn't think that was good because I thought he'd then move queen a5, and I thought I wasn't really getting anything there. Maybe that's good for me. I'm not sure. But then I thought that he'd basically be able to play c5. It would be super supported. That is one advantage of him having his knight on d7 there. So I didn't really love playing queen b3. I keep calculating if e4 works. It doesn't quite work until I move my knight over. So I thought ideally I'd have my rook, and I thought the only way I can get my rook behind my e-pawn is if I castle and then play rook e1, which is kind of where I want it. So in this position, the candidate moves. I was looking at queen b3. I was kind of calculating the knight jumps. I didn't like it here because I thought if I went to e5, he would take, I would take, he would probably backwards move his knight, attacking my pawn. I would force something like f4. I would have a strong pawn chain, but I wasn't sure this is the position I should be playing, where he'd still have like the strong center here. This is so many arrows, where I guess that's the right time I'd have to break it open. So all that in mind, I just castled. I said, obladi, oblada, this can't be bad. It's probably correct. Jamie didn't think for very long. He responded by castling as well, and we reached this position. I'm still thinking I don't want to open up his bishop. I want to attack the b-pawn. I want to prepare taking the center. So those are kind of like the sequence of like from the positional, the macro idea. I didn't really see any like tactical ideas because in the earlier position, like here, I was looking if he didn't move his like let's say he actually played knight a6, which I actually do prefer. I think this is better. But I was looking at some ideas of getting my knight into e5 with the thinking with different like not trade that maybe I'd have a sacrifice idea. Again, long term, I want to hit the c pawn with my light square bishop. It only works, again, if he moves the d-pawn. That's kind of the tactic I was looking at here, which required my knight being on e5, which is a very common, typical idea in the Catalan. And, of course, in those setups, I am forking. I'd be checking his king and then winning his rook. So as soon as he castles, that dream is dead, and I kind of give up the ideas of what a sacrifice on c6 with my knight would look like. But that was kind of long-term what I was thinking. So I go back to like the basic strategy. Should I attack the pawn right away? And I said, probably not. Because if I play here, I kept thinking that he would just respond. If I went queen b3, he would go queen a5. And again, if he can lock down the center and use the two pawns to his advantage, I thought that would be bad for me. So I just went rook e1. I thought that this is now... I thought now I am threatening to play e4. If he takes, that's beautiful for me. I'm going to get the strong center. And if he takes that way, then maybe I'm going to be threatening d5 at the right time. Again, it's all about cracking this open. And then opening up the scope, which would be beautiful. All right. Nonetheless, after rook e1, Jamie plays knight to b6. And I thought this was a bad move, for the record. The reason this is a bad move is as soon as he plays a knight to b6, he's blocking his queen. The whole time I think I can't gobble up this pawn yet because he has that move, and I think he defends it. I also didn't see where he's going. Okay, maybe he's attacking the c-pawn. Yeah, so as soon as he plays this, I think I could still maybe strike with e4. I think that's an option. That's one of my candidate moves. I'm thinking, okay, I could push c5, but I didn't love that. I even though it looks decent here, his bishop would be terrible, just completely pinned on in. I know in a lot of these setups, having sort of the backward pawn on d4 is bad. Even though in this position it seemed okay to me. The idea, of course, if he for some reason jumped forward, I would then trade, he would trade, and I would look to scoop up these pawns. It's another common idea, kind of these two pawns dangling here. I would then go queen c2, which is a very common move, just immediately pressuring. I then thought he would play b5, and it would be interesting. I wasn't sure if that was better for me, because his pawns seemed like they'd be rolling. He would be opening up, he'd be getting soft, kind of on the a8 square, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, I was kind of considering all those moves. And I played what I thought was the best move. Obviously, all the moves I play, at the time I play them, I always assume they're the best move. Sometimes, as soon as I move, I realize they're not. But this move I was fine with. And the reason why I played knight e5 is one other reason I didn't like Jamie moving his knight from d7 to b6 is he's giving up control of the e5 square. The whole time, I can't jump to e5 because his knight is taking it away. And again, I mentioned the line like 2 moves ago or so, where if we trade everything and then he reroutes the knight, and then I play like f4 or something, I'm not sure that's good for me. It doesn't seem bad, but I'm not really sure I have anything. As soon as he moves his bishop to the side, I realize I can jump in. And now it's a strong knight. Now, as was the case, by the way, I'm blocking in the e-pawn, so he can't really open up for his bishop. I am controlling these squares. Long term, I might have some threat on the f7 square as well. If he doesn't take, I can then jump my D knight to f3, and then I have total lockdown on the e5 square. So I thought that positionally I was making progress here. For the record, the other candidate moves I was considering, I didn't think taking was good, but I was considering just a quick queen b3. I thought a sample line would be something like knight takes on c4, knight takes on c4, pawn takes on c4, queen takes on c4. A lot of trades happening on c4. And I was looking at this position where this pawn is weak, and I thought even here he might just still have like queen a5. Not that this is so good for him, but I also didn't think I had anything here. Again, his weakness in his position is a very bad light square bishop. I'm not sure how he's developing it, but I also don't think I'm just like winning the pawn in this setup. So I didn't go into this, even though I think this is totally fine. I thought this was safer, if you will. The other moves I was considering, other than queen b3, is I was looking at playing e4 here. But I thought that if he then went knight takes, if I go something like pawn takes, he would go knight takes on d2. Most likely, I would actually go backwards with my knight. But then I thought once he plays e takes, he's now opened up, and I'm actually in these lines. I'm not directly attacking. I would have the file. I don't know. This is kind of like what I was picturing if I was to do that. That's very forcing. I didn't want to do that, so as noted, I played knight e5. In response, now Jamie played a move I really wasn't considering, which is knight a4. And at first when he played it, I was like, this can't be that good. And then I thought, maybe Jamie found a good move. Like, that's the thing about Jamie. Okay, I'm going to talk about playing style. Jamie is inconsistent, of course. I mean, he's like, he's been like high 1300s. He kind of teeters between the 1200s and 1300s. Right now, I caught him when he's like high 1200s. His overall play, obviously not that accurate, but in the past, he's played some great moves against me, and he's capable of playing great moves. He's just not capable of playing great moves consistently. That's what I'll say. And I think he found a really clever idea here. And the reason why this is clever is I'm going to first show what I played in response. I actually took, because I thought calculation, I have to go c takes d5. But here's why, if I want to bounce him out, like if I want to play b3, God damn it. If I play b3, he jumps the knight to c3. And I thought in this position, first off, this pawn is now a strength. It's creating the outpost for him. B, he's like actually already targeting the a pawn and my queen. I'd kind of be forced to move to like c2. I looked at this position. I thought that this was kind of dangerous for me, to be honest. He has more grip as well over the d5 square. It's not so easy for me to dislodge his knight. He actually has another defender on the e4 square as well. So I thought it would be a really big mistake to allow him to jump in. He's also, quite obviously, attacking the b2 pawn. So if I do something, random, again, this is a random move h3, then I thought he could just take. He could just take on b2. Obviously, if I then attack his knight, he can then sort of sacrifice it on c4. And after, the trades occur, what would be the pawn count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he'd be up a pawn. So I didn't think that was very good, and that's if I make a random move. So I have to defend this. So I thought my options were, I played c takes. I thought I have queen b3, but in this line, what I calculated is I thought he would then play c takes, and if I take this with the knight, he can then crash in with the queen, again targeting the b2 square. And if I take it with the queen, he would then take my b pawn, and he'd be, again, attacking my queen again while, basically checking the queen. And I have to basically move back, and he'd win a pawn in those lines. So that was kind of what I calculated. The other move I calculated was, rook b1. And I thought that this was a reasonable move as well. My fear here, what was my fear? Is that he possibly would have a c3 fork, like if I ever push up, and if he ever does sort of build an attack on the a pawn might get kind of soft as well. So I thought that it was incorrect to put the rook on b1 because, again, I'd be eyeing 3 pawns, it wouldn't have activity, wouldn't be open, and I'm kind of dooming myself to weakening my a pawn. So I thought that b1 wasn't accurate for that reason. Anyway, so what I calculated is c takes, and then when he takes back, then I can play queen b3. I'd be attacking the pawn. I'd be defending everything. Obviously, if I take c takes d here, he can't take with the queen because I'm attacking it with my bishop. And if he does take with his knight, it allows me to play e4 with tempo and just build a very strong center, which is what I want. I thought the downside is that I'd be opening up his bishop, so I'm giving up, I'm giving up something in exchange for this. So that's why I thought his knight a4 move was actually kind of good, kind of good, Again, like maybe it is, maybe it's not. Not surprisingly, Jamie takes with the e pawn, and in turn, by the way, keep checking because I'm curious if I'm gonna in the past because I've kind of crashed my computer with the analysis, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, hopefully if I move slowly enough, that won't happen this time around. Nonetheless, now I play queen b3, and this makes the most sense to me. Maybe I could have played e4 here. No, I didn't think e4 here worked because I thought e4, knight takes. Maybe it does work. I don't know. I've always wanted to play e4, and I think I ended up playing it at the wrong time. But I thought it would be simple to just kind of gobble up and attack the b pawn, and then I'd be up a clear pawn and kind of an easy position. So that was at least my thinking here. I thought, for whatever reason, Jamie's best move was queen to b6, so that he'd be attacking my d pawn and defending his b pawn. But he plays queen d6. Defending his pawn over here. So I don't know which one's better, but I'll just say I think he should have played this move. And the reason why is, again, he's got another defender. I always have this idea, by the way, of bringing my knight back to d3, but here it doesn't work because he can then just take the pawn. So I thought I'd have to play something like knight d to f3, defending, basically giving him another turn. Maybe he's able to push c5, I'm not sure. But then we get some position like this, and after knight takes on c5, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like, I think that this is not bad for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He sells the weakness on the b pawns. The position is starting to open up. I'm not sure where I would go. Probably would move here with the idea of maybe bringing my rook over to c1. It's hard to say. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, none of that happened. So whatever. He plays queen to d6. I think about my moves for a while. Again, I'm still considering playing e4. I just don't think it works here because I thought that my knight would be hanging in those lines. Like if I go e4, e takes, I guess I'd go knight takes, bishop takes. I thought it was fine. I also considered moving rook a to d1, lining up my rook on his queen. But those were the two other moves I was thinking. I ended up playing a backwards knight move, knight to d4. And the reason why it's pretty obvious is I just didn't think that he had the defense. I didn't think c5 worked because I thought I could just take. And if he ever takes, I can then actually take here, thereby pinning his knight to his queen. Maybe I'd even be winning a piece. So then he thought he had b6, and it was complicated, but I would surely be winning at least a pawn there, and probably softening up his position. And I didn't really see what else he could do, because he never has this queen sort of in the right spot, and his knight is kind of out of play. He's kind of like, it's almost trapped, for the record. Almost. If I could ever maneuver my bishop down this way, that would be kind of interesting. Although it's still not really something to take, because then it would be the queen, trade, but blah, 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 blah. You guys get what I mean. Anyway, that was the most elegant move I saw. I'm just going to put down the two moves I considered. The two other moves, rook a to d1, with the idea then of hopefully playing e4, or maybe e4 immediately. And with e4, what I saw, I thought that his best move would be to take. By the way, long term, I always had this idea of the queen gunning down on the f-pawn, thereby gluing his rook on f8. And I thought I would have something like this. Knight takes on e4. Would go knight takes on e4. And then I thought if I had bishop takes, but I probably would actually go rook takes. And again, the rook is then guarding my d pawn. I thought in certain lines that maybe would be able to push to basically take, or swing over to the f file and just continue attacking the f pawn. So those were the ideas that I was looking for in this position. However, I scrapped all of them and I just went with knight to d3 because I really thought that I'm just winning a clear pawn. I'm in a comfy position against a player who, I like Jamie. I chat with him. I have a good time. In fact, Next week, maybe after one of the games, we'll go to the sevens together. So it's the bar I generally go with my fiance Lizzie. So nice dude. So I'm not saying this like derisively, but I do think I'm significantly better. So if I just play a comfortable position, I will win. All right. In response, Jamie kind of surprises me. He plays h5, and this move caught me by surprise. He's kind of lashing out. He's trying to generate some kind of attack, and in retrospect, I should have met this move with h4. If I play h4, he has nothing. That would be the practical decision, the correct decision, because I'm still attacking this pawn. Instead, I think I make a mistake and I play knight takes. I'm pretty sure if I just play h4 myself, I was I was saying after the game, what would he play, like g5 takes and then like knight to g4. I just don't think he really has anything here. Like, yes, maybe he's got some long-term pressure on the f pawn, but I mean, I don't know. This looks good for me. Like, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Like, this. Am I so scared of this? I don't think so. I don't think he's got like a break like that. So, and I really should have met h5 because it's his only attacking idea for counterplay. Instead, I took the pawn, thinking that I could ignore his move. I'd be up a clear pawn. I'd be able to reroute my knight. Whoops. Slam it on e5, preventing any kind of like attacking idea, and just go from here. And I thought I was just like clearly winning. At least that's what I thought. To my surprise, but it really shouldn't be, because that's kind of what he was going with. He then plays h4, and I now realize he actually has a real threat. I didn't really comment on timing. Again, Jamie was like 5 minutes late to the game. The first like 6 moves or so I made immediately. I spent 10 minutes in one position in the opening. Since then, I'm playing pretty quickly. I ended up getting a time edge on Jamie, but not by much. And this move struck the board, and I spent, this is where I spent 20 minutes thinking. Because it seemed like the crucial point in the game. So let me show you what I was calculating. My first thought was, can I just take this pawn? I said, all right, Robert, like, I'm up a pawn already. Should I be greedy? Should I just take the pawn? If he's giving me a pawn, should I just take it? By the way, I ended up playing knight to d3. I ended up going back, sticking to my idea of going with this plan because I thought it was the safest. But let me show you my calculations, like why I spent so long on this move. I thought I have g takes, and I really tried visualizing how the hell will he attack me from this position. The natural move is knight to g4, right? Because then he's attacking my h-pawn. I then calculated h3, attacking, basically unpreing his knight, because I kept calculating this position. I thought that he doesn't actually have anything here. It's not that scary. If he has queen check, I go here. He doesn't have one of these wild, knight to e3, because first off, my pawn defends, as does my queen, and I'm still attacking this piece. So I thought that this was like really comfortable. However, in this position, the reason why I didn't is I thought if he just simply goes back, and I know this looks kind of wild. I did calculate this for the record. I thought that he is now threatening, again, maybe not really because I'm defending, but basically a sacrifice of his bishop. Maybe it doesn't really work. Maybe I should have gone into this, but I thought that there would be some funky lines. Again, I'm not even sure how. I saw this position, I got a little bit uncomfortable, thinking that if he was able to sacrifice and like kind of take, that maybe it would be some kind of perpetual here. Maybe my king is no longer safe because my rook is on e1. I wouldn't be able to run. I don't know. I basically calculated this far, and I thought if I ever could land my queen on g3, I would just be winning, kind of up the 2 clear pawns, basically trade. But I thought, again, this looked very uncomfortable for me. I'm going to bet that that's the best move according to the computer, is g takes h4. It's the move when I, after I finished my game that I was most curious about looking up. Because I really spent a long time calculating, and I kind of chickened out of just taking the pawn. The reason why, and again, by the way, I played, knight d3, but let me just walk through my calculations at this point. I thought that if I play, knight here, I thought his best move was to play h3. I would then drop my bishop, and I thought if in that line, if I then rerouted my knight to e5, he doesn't have anything, because it's too slow, too long for him to dislodge. Obviously, he wants to, like, move his knight to g4. I thought we could even trade, and I'd even have like an f3 move, again preparing e4 basically with the strong pawn, and I thought I'd be really, really comfortable. So that's kind of what I calculated for the record. Yeah, so I was torn between retrieving my my knight or taking the pawn. Those were the 2 moves I really thought about. I didn't consider e4 in this position, to be honest. But maybe it's good here, to be honest. To my surprise, when I played knight d3, and this is kind of a mistake, as the whole time I spent calculating that he'd be playing h3. And I do think h3 is the best move. I really do. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that at all. Instead, he plays bishop to f5. And I just didn't think this was an accurate move. Again, he was trying to open up his bishop. Technically, he's now no longer defending the b-pawn, but I'm positive it's poisoned. There's, like, no way I can take that pawn. I'll probably get trapped somehow. So I didn't even really calculate queen takes. In a line like that, I could win a pawn. He would then like trade. I'd have weird ass pawns, but I'd have the open file. I don't know. Maybe that's good. Just to show you the line, it would be here. What did I play? It would be queen takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then in that position, I'm up another pawn. Maybe he's trapping my queen somehow, but probably not. I would probably have like a queen e7, threatening to trade queens and stick my rook on the 7th file. He would get some counterplay where he would then win the b-pawn, but I don't know. It seemed okay to me, right? But when he plays bishop f5, I start calculating e4, and I thought that I would liquidate to a very easily winning endgame. And I'm going to walk you through my calculation, and then I'm going to show you why it didn't work, because I spent a long time on this move, and it doesn't work, guys. Like, this is where I give back, and there's no question about it. So I calculate e4. Now, why is e4 scary? Well, I'm immediately attacking his bishop. He's got to respond to it, right? If he just simply goes bishop takes, that's fine, or pawn takes, what I would do then is I've calculated knight takes. I'd then be attacking his knight with check and attacking his queen. He can't move. He can't move the piece. If he does, I guess we just trade, and that's fine. So I figured he would take. I then thought I would take. He doesn't have the queen attacking the pawn because this pawn's not here anymore. And I'd be attacking his bishop, so he'd have to go bishop takes. And then I would go rook takes. And in that final variation, my rook would be on e4. I'd be attacking his h-pawn, so he probably would have to trade. I would then trade. Or he would swing it down, and then I could swing my own rook to h4, creating my own threat. And most importantly, my rook would be defending the d-pawn when all the dust settled. So I was so proud of myself until I actually played it, when I went through that, and I realized he's not actually forced to take my bishop. He can then go queen takes d4, and I realized that I had a strong position, and I'm pretty sure I am barely better after this move. I play e4. Again, by the way, I'm also threatening, if he just like drops the bishop, I'm threatening to play e5, which would end the game on the spot. It would be a material fork. So I play e4. He then plays d takes, as expected. I like shrug. I'm like, nice, this is exactly going as we want. I play knight takes e4. Again, I'm attacking the queen. I'm attacking the knight. Something's got to give, you know? Something's got to give. As soon as I play this move, knight takes e4, he doesn't play knight takes knight. And I think to myself, oh no. I think I just gave back a pawn, and I'm not sure if I got anything back in response for it. And I realized the error of my ways is that as soon as I take back with the bishop, and I thought there'd be some like interesting ideas kind of on the h-file, he then shrugged, and credit to Jamie, he then plays queen takes on d4, and all of a sudden, fuck me, right? All of a sudden, fuck me. Because he's attacking the bishop, 2 attackers. I don't have time to win an extra pawn. I have nothing to like, sack. I can't swing my rook over. I have to move my bishop again. So I retreat it. And by the way, I decided that the best move was bishop g2, because I thought that way if he ever plays h3, given he doesn't have a light square bishop, now I can just take it. So the h-pawn being disadvantaged is not a threat anymore. Plus, obviously, my king is like defending the bishop. But I then realized I've kind of given up my advantage. I think maybe I'm slightly better, because in some of these lines, I'm attacking the pawn, and his knight is on the rim. And I do have the open files, like the activity. So I still thought that I was slightly better, but I was pretty sure when I went into this, I messed up the game. A significant enough mistake that I felt pretty bad, to be honest. It is worth noting that Jamie is pinning the f-pawn, so when he trades, I have to take back the h-pawn. He trades. By the way, he did something funny. There was like a broken pawn. He's like, I'm just going to switch these pawns. So there's, one of the pawns we were using was broken. So he like switched it, and then I was like, I'm just going to take it anyway. So we did this whole trading off the pieces and then putting them back on the board and then trading them off anyway because it was broken. I didn't really consider any other move. Obviously, if I don't take, he's actually maybe he's not really. Well, he'd be threatening to just take again with a pawn. I would then move the knight, and there's no reason to give him an extra pawn here. I don't know. Maybe actually I would have like rook to d1 in this position. Is this interesting at all? G takes an f2 check, knight takes, and I've given up a pawn for like massive activity. No, because then doesn't he just take on b2? I don't even have time to take this anymore. I mean, one line is I could go takes here, rook takes on a2. This looks terrible for white. There's no way I want to give up all my pawns and go into this. The other line would be something like, yeah, no, that's just terrible. Why would I ever want to do that? Anyway, I go h takes on g3. Yeah, and then as soon as we make those trades, I'm like, damn, maybe I'm only slightly better here. My king felt a little bit safer. Maybe it's not. But we both have an exposed h-file. And just as quickly as Jamie plays some good moves and whatnot, he plays a move that I thought blunders the game completely and ends the game for me. And after I spent, a 15-minute think and a 20-minute think, Jamie plays this, and I was like, what the fuck? I spend 1 minute, and I'm like, doesn't rook e4 just end the game? And maybe I should have thought a little bit longer, but I put the move on the board, all right? And I think to myself, all right, maybe Jamie's going to resign. I'm forking these pieces. The reason why is the best move I saw was queen to d7, defending this knight. But then I'd be able to take the a knight. We basically trade. I'd just be up a clear piece. It looked really great for me. And then in that line where if I take that, he could then maybe take this knight. But then I would take his knight. And when the dust settles, it looks like I'm just up a clear piece, and I'm just like winning. And I wish I could say Jamie calculated this, but he didn't. Instead, he spent 20 minutes himself, and unfortunately, I went into the mindset of the game is over. I normally don't look at other people's games, but at this point, I probably had spent I've used about half my time. I have like 45 minutes left. I know when I went and used the bathroom, I know I was on a pace where I was moving 3 minutes a move, actually. So 20 moves in 60 minutes. Okay, so I guess 60 minutes, we get, what, an hour and a half down to 30 minutes? That doesn't sound right. Maybe 2 minutes a move? 45 minutes? I don't know, whatever. The point is, I still have plenty of time. I did the thing where I started looking at other people's games because I was like, oh, easy win. Like, I win. Like, sorry, Jamie, you fucked up. And Jamie finds, and if this doesn't get a brilliant from chess.com, I don't know what is. But he plays knight to c5, and holy shit, when this hit the board, I was like, oh my god, what a brilliant move. Knight c5! And the reason why is if I take his queen, he takes my queen. He could then take his rook, he could take my rook. Excuse me. I would take his knight, he would take my rook. That would be bad for me, right? He'd just be up material, and then he'd be crashing through. If I take his queen, and then he takes my queen, and then I take his knight to prevent him, he can then take my rook with check. In fact, I'd be in real trouble, because I can't even run to h2, because the knight's taking it away. So, if I take his knight on f4, well, he can just take my rook. Well, maybe that's actually good for me. If I just took his... Now that I look at this, maybe rook takes knight is good here. No, it's not. What am I talking about? He would then take my queen. I would take his queen. He would take me back, and he would be with the exchange. Yeah, of course. So I went through all those variations. At least I hope so. I hope I didn't miss anything. And I thought that the only move to retain an advantage or do anything that doesn't quite is basically go. And I had to calculate with knight takes c5 if queen takes on f2 is anything. And I thought no, because I'd always have this move of rolling back my king to h1. And then he would then maybe be able to take this this knight. He'd have won the pawn. Maybe he's got some kind of funky perpetuals or so. But I did realize that I didn't see this move. It was brilliant, and I might not be winning anymore. It might be a real game. So I thought to myself, like, props to Jamie. Not surprisingly, he plays queen takes on f2 check. I played the only move it's forced, obviously, is king h1. And in this position, I thought that he would just take... no, I wanted him to take my knight, because then I could take his knight. That's right. Instead, he plays the more accurate queen f5, and I thought this was brilliant. He's attacking my knight. He's not really attacking my rook, because obviously it's defended multiple ways. But he's looking to basically, checkmate me, or at least perpetual. I thought to myself, like, and this is where I spent a long time, and I still blundered here. There's like a lot of threats, because there's like a lot of funky checks where, again, knight check on f2, he can then win the exchange. I wasn't sure what to do, so I blundered here. There's no question about it. I blunder once he plays queen f2, f5. I'll show you what I played. It's definitely a blunder. I play rook f4. I'll tell you why I did it. But in retrospect, I think I'm supposed to sacrifice the rook takes on g4, and then he would go queen takes on g4, and we'd play this position. I would have 2 pieces for the rook, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Material-wise, like point-wise, 3. It would be a pawn and a rook for the bishop and the knight. It's maybe slightly better for me. He has some soft pawns, and maybe I have some threat if I'm able to like wheel my my rook to f1. But I was not in love with this position. I thought that if I played rook to f4, I'm taking away these checks on f2. I calculated over here, check over here, and he doesn't have like a mate or anything like that. If he brings the queen down, I could then run to f1. And I didn't see him having any check. Unfortunately, for some reason, after spending a while, I just missed the very, very obvious move, which is this. After I play rook f4, he plays queen h5 check. My move is forced here, king g1, and it's because he can take my knight with check. And yeah, as soon as this happens, queen takes c5, I realize I'm certainly not winning anymore, and I, at best, am drawn. And I did the fucking hell, man. Kind of thought to myself, I had a huge time advantage. I realized I should have sacrificed and played out the position, and now I'm going to be very, very lucky to draw. I mean, not that lucky. I'm down a pawn, for the record. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, knight, bishop, queen, queen. He's more active. It's more that I thought that I was stuck in a box. He basically has these perpetuals. I can't... one positive why I put my rook on f4, again, is I thought I was taking this away, as well as setting up a long-term threat on f7, that he wouldn't have a checkmate, that maybe I'd be able to run to f1. He doesn't have a checkmate on f2, because my rook is taking it away. So I actually was considering that, like running, being a hero. I can be your hero, baby. What ends up happening, though, is after queen to c5 takes with check, what a brutal, brutal move. I then think to myself, all right, I'm going to go king h1, I'm going to offer him a draw. And the reason why is I saw a potential perpetual, again, just like checking me back and forth. I just didn't think I'd have anything better than to just shuffle my king back and forth. He's up a pawn, but I'm not really sure that he could like win. Obviously, if he ever lets me like re-gobble the material, then we'll basically have equal pawns. I thought I have such a good record against Jamie and like a much higher rating that maybe he would just like take the draw here. And I also kind of thought to myself, like, I don't deserve the win anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I messed up. He found a brilliant move. He deserves the draw. So I offered him a draw here, and Jamie actually like laughed at it. He's like, I don't think so. And the truth is, and I'm kind of curious what the computer will say, I really think that this is zeros. I do not think black has a real advantage. I am wondering, though, if I'm supposed to ever be a hero. Here, let me play out another move first. Move 27, king h1. Because he plays, knight f2. I obviously never have knight to g1. I never want to give him the reveal, so I figured I had to run. And I thought in this case I could run up, and he can, he doesn't have the check there. I'm taken away, but he would have the queen check, blah, blah, blah. But in this position, I'm just wondering if I ever do have king f1, with the thinking that I don't know why I'd ever want to go into this, but to try to like win the game. Probably not, because he probably just has no, with the idea that maybe he's got some discoveries here. Yeah. Now he's attacking the rook. I don't know. Every way, like, if I run in, I just thought it was so dangerous that I would basically lose the exchange. Obviously, I can always sacrifice the exchange myself, but I gave up the thought of winning at this point. He plays knight f2 check. I run up, thinking I have to avoid any of these discoveries. Yeah, this is where I think Jamie goes a little too hard trying to win. I don't think he's winning. I really don't think he's winning here. He plays king h5. I saw a funny line. Obviously, if I ever moved to g1, I thought that he would just retreat to c5. Yeah. So I play rook h4. I thought in this position, he could... I don't know. Once I play rook h4, again, I thought that his best bet is to just, check me back and forth. Again, with a perpetual. He can't obviously take because the rook is pinned. Yeah, but I think he does this thing where, I think he just is so intent on winning up the pawn that I'm pretty sure this is zeros. I'm pretty sure that he just really tried really, really hard to win from here. And, credit to Jamie. I'm really curious what the computer has to say. Once he plays knight to g4, I move up to king h3. Now I'm attacking his knight, his horsey, obviously. Not immediately, for the record, because it's defended. Well, I'm attacking his queen, so he'd have to, as soon as he moves it. Yeah, and I just thought that we would play a perpetual, where he would check me on f2, and I would basically move back and forth. And I thought that this is just a draw, this is just a draw. He plays knight f2. I play king h2. And I thought to myself, all right, I guess I'm going to end the tournament kind of in a disappointing draw. Jamie's 300 points lower than me. I probably would still have gained a slight amount of rating, but, these things happen. He found a brilliant move, and I was kind of careless, thinking that the game was over. However, when I play king h2, before we can repeat and get to a threefold, Jamie makes a terrible, terrible blunder, and I guess he's trying to win really badly. He plays queen e5. I waste 0 minutes finding what is assuredly the best move. This is the kill shot. Queen c2. The reason why, I am threatening checkmate. I am attacking his knight. There is nothing Jamie can do about it. He has, unfortunately, completely blundered the game away. And when he did this, I was basically like, Jamie, I do not deserve to win this one. I didn't deserve to lose it either, but the win is very fortunate. And now, once this move hits the board, I am winning this position 100% of the time. Jamie, frustratingly, sighs, shakes his head. He was already low on time. He gets down to 9 minutes. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Jamie likes playing out these positions. I don't know why, but the game does not last long. I do find the win pretty quickly. I take the knight, of course. Now I'm just up a clear piece. He really doesn't have much to show for it. He then plays g6. I don't think there's much that needs to be commented about that. I know I got these checkmate ideas. I also thought that if we just trade off the queens, I'll be able to gobble up these pawns very, very easily. I play what is the very simple human move, queen c3. Again, the idea is going for a mate. I thought he has to go trade, and then I would swing my rook over and just, again, attack all his pawns, kind of take the 7th file, play up a piece. He doesn't do that. Jamie plays queen e8. The game is, as far as I'm concerned, over. I play rook h4. I have a very clear checkmate threat. This seems really good to me. It's really hard to stop it. He plays f6. At this point, I am moving pretty quickly because all these moves feel very natural to me. I play rook e1, finally getting into the game 36 moves later. I'm attacking the queen. I'm taking the file. I'm trying to bang Ladesh on in. He plays queen f7. Now I'm thinking if I can ever reroute my bishop, I have a pin, which should just be pin to win. Easy game. And I turn my brain off. I just think there's really nothing I could do to lose this game, which again is not great. I played bishop h3. Now, rather than going down this way, I'm now threatening to move my bishop to e6, closing the door, that kind of thing. Very quickly, and Jamie's down to like 5 minutes. I think he got down to like 1 minute, maybe less. He plays rook takes. I shrug. I play bishop e6, and I assume Jamie is going to resign the game from this position. He does not. He plays g5. I say okay. I win his queen. Bishop takes f7. He goes rook takes f7, and I play rook e8 check, thinking that I must have a mate here somehow. I'm not sure how, but I actually mess up my moves, and I mess up a little bit here. I thought the game was over. I'm really surprised he doesn't resign. And so I play queen c2. I'm not kidding. Obviously, completely forgetting that my rook is under attack, thinking I was going to just play checkmate next turn. So I kind of laugh, thinking, oh shit, I just gave him a rook for nothing. It doesn't matter. It's still completely winning. And then I thankfully realize I take like a minute. Like, I'm not blitzing moves anymore. I'm like, all right, if I take, I open this file, I have a checkmate, all right, everything is fine. So I then take on h4. Jamie plays rook a1. I play queen g2 check, and I'm pretty sure this is just mate. He goes king h7. I'm kind of proud of myself for the checkmate. I find queen g8 check. He goes king h6, and I play queen takes on f7. He plays rook a4. And then I checkmate him, which is nice, with rook h8 checkmate. All right, the punctuation sign. So that's the game. I'm going to save this one first, just so that things don't get messed up too much. Whoops, this here. Add to game collection. Let's do it that way. Boylston Chess Club, November Swiss. All right, let's turn on the engine now. I hope that this won't crash my computer, but yeah, let's see what happens here. And let's go back to the beginning. So, all right, a little bit of d4 action, d5. I'm going to fast forward until we're basically out of book, because I do know these moves, like, to be honest, backwards and forwards. I might stop on move 6, because on move 6, that's where I had to think for a minute. But I think all these are like the normal moves. This is just the Catalan opening. Yeah, so let's see what's happening here. Bishop g2. This is the Catalan. He then plays bishop b4 check, which is played a lot. They like, wow, I didn't know. Okay, they like the bishop. They like the knight on b2. I thought it's more accurate to play the bishop so that it goes trade, and then I get the knight where I want it. I guess this isn't a bad move, but it's not the best move. It's still the book move. Okay. Phew. And then he plays a5. Is this still a book move here? It's not. Okay, that's why. It's not a book move. a5 is not the book move. It looks like it's the 4th best move or so. For the record, I am familiar with trading and I guess retreating. I didn't know I guess to d6. That makes sense. And you just castle into that. Okay. Well, very well. All right, this is where I had to do the think. Oh, look at that, guys! All right, I'm happy. I played the best move. I didn't consider queen c2 from this position, but they do like my plan of, okay, and then to b3. Hey, look at, sometimes I play okay, sometimes I play okay. They like the trade. b3 is an idea here. Interesting. I considered a3, which is not on the board, and I considered castles, which is second best. So, but regardless, I play the best move. Cool. Yeah, this was obviously not my finest game, but I do like when I play the best move, if you will. He goes pawn takes. We know this. And is everything kind of handling things okay? Yeah. It's kind of calculating on through. Okay, they do like, yeah, the bishop to d2. Or, excuse me, knight to b to d2, which is what I played. That is the best move. Well done. Well done, Good move. Nah, it was showing as the best move before, computer. Don't lie to me. Don't do this. Don't do this. They do not mind his move. They like b6 best. I actually was considering some b6 ideas, but and the idea that I kind of considered is roughly on par, the knight out to a6. That's what I thought that maybe he should do. But whatever. They're all pretty equal. White has a comfortable position here, not surprising. Again, the double B pawns are the weakness in this position. They like castling, which is the best one. Queen B3. Those are the moves I'm thinking about here. Interesting. Yeah, castles in B3. Okay, cool. Well, play the best move. Sounds good. White is comfortably doing well. That's move 9. He castles. That's his best move. Well done, Jamie. And then I play rook E1. I didn't write my other candidate moves here. It looks like it's up there. Queen B3 immediately, though. I think I kept saying, like, I wondered when this was good. The next move is when I was considering playing it. I played rook E1 first. So this looks like a move order inaccuracy. And the reason why is because B6 here, apparently, which is what I was saying, I guess? I don't know. But instead he plays knight B6. And I did not like this move here. Yeah, this is not a good move. C5. Interesting. All right, so the moves that I considered were knight E5, which is the third best move, queen B3, which is the second best move, and E4, which is not on the list at all. I should have given more consideration to C5 here. Remember what I was saying at some point earlier in the video? How are we? We're at 55 minutes in. Where I could like close it up, and I thought in this position that seemed pretty reasonable. I probably should have done that. I did see that. It also makes this pawn like always just dead. It's such a weakness for him. I didn't do that though. And it looks like the knight to E5 is still a strong move. So I'm not going to beat myself up. But that was not the best move. And they still give me an excellent. You know, the computer is weird about it. He then plays knight A4. It's not even on the list. And this is just a bad move as well. And the reason why C5 is still the best move... C5 is not a move I was thinking of here, and the reason why is you're taking away his retreat squares, so his knight is always out of play. It's like a dead piece. Yes, that would have been good. That would have been good. Looks like I was considering C takes, which is not up there, B3, which is not up there, H3, which is not up there, Rook B1, which is up there, but not what I played. Damn, so I really misevaluated and misunderstood this position here. That's for sure. Okay. I play C takes, which looks like it kind of gives up a lot of the advantage. And it makes sense. Thematically, when he can go E takes, he now frees his bishop. So, and I was saying when I was playing that I realized I made a mistake with this because I helped him improve his position. At least I double back with the best move here, which is queen B3. But white is only a little bit better. So it looks like I understood my mistake while I was playing in the game. I shouldn't have given him the chance to free his bishop. Yeah. All right. You know, sometimes you make mistakes. It's nice to know, like, learn from them. Nice to realize what the mistakes were or are, that kind of thing. Okay, they give him his move an inaccuracy. I said his best move was queen B6. Hey, look at that, guys. I'm right. That is his best move, queen B6. That's what I thought he should play. Again, attacking and defending. Multi-purpose move. None of this madness. He centralized his queen. He said he was also considering queen E7. I said that was clearly like a bad move here. So yeah, he should have gone queen B6. If he goes queen B6, position's like pretty equal. Instead, he goes queen D6, and it's a mistake. And it's a mistake because I was considering queen B6 here. What? Oh, that's the move I was considering. Because I play knight D3. No! Alright, because I play the best move. Okay, cool. I considered rook A to D1, which is not on the list. I considered E4 here, which is not on the list. Knight D to F3. Yeah, I was considering that too. Kind of like these two knights, you know, just protecting one another. That would have been fine. And then A3 here. A3, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't considering at all. A3. Knight E4. Wouldn't he just move the knight back? I'm confused. Alright, well, I wasn't even considering A3 here, but it looks like I played the best move. So that's great. I played knight to D3. The idea was just bringing my pieces back and just targeting his weakness. So I like it. Hey, look at that. The computer really likes his move. It's like this position's almost +1 for me. It's comfortable. But the H5 push is up there. They like his idea of having to generate something. So props to Jamie. H4, yeah, is rising in the computer evaluation. I'm hoping that this is not going to freeze. I think this is going to be a good video. This is going to be a good one. And I really regretted not playing H4. But I don't know. They have knight takes B4 as like just as good. So maybe I don't play that badly. I also did consider bringing my knight to F3. Kind of stops the idea of H4 as well. But I took, and the computer does think that this is a good move, so maybe I shouldn't beat myself up too much. H4 would have been a simpler idea. Computer likes him playing H4 here. It's his best move, and I realized that I actually do have some complications. I went into the deep tank. I played the best move, but it looks like G... Hey, look at that. I thought for so long about G takes, and it looks like I played the best move. It looks like knight D3 is the best move. Oh my god. For all the reasons I had said, but I'm just kind of curious if my analysis was correct. If I played G takes H4... Okay, the whole time I was worried about knight to G4, which I didn't think did anything. But they're saying bishop F5 in this position. Yeah, and I would find this. I would have found knight to F3 to defend this pawn, kind of re-centralize. It's not so clear. White is up 2 pawns, but it's only like plus 0.6 or so. So interesting. All right, well, I just didn't want to go into that madness. It didn't seem bad, but it also wasn't... I'm just kind of curious if my analysis was correct as far as this line. Was this correct here? No. No, H3 is up there. Yeah, all right. My calculation, not bad. And then the check, I didn't think it did anything, and we would have reached this position. I thought that if he moved here, he'd have some real play. Or knight F6, apparently. Keeping the knight there. Huh. Can I just take... Yeah, okay, that just loses. What are they talking about? Knight F6. Oh, just moving back. Yeah. That's what I thought was the best move. Okay. So this was the line that I calculated that I thought would be... wasn't so clear. I would go, let's say, knight to F3. He plays queen C7, and we play this position. Yeah, I don't know. I saw this. Like, I mean, you guys know I saw this. I was literally talking about the lines before I did any of the computer stuff. So, all right. But I opted for what I thought was simpler. And this is apparently just as good, if not maybe better. A little bit cleaner. So I play knight to D3. Jamie plays bishop F5, which is actually a good move. For some reason, I didn't like it. They like rook E8, which I did think made sense to kind of try to compete for the E file. I do like that. But instead, he plays bishop F5, which really surprised me. And here I play E4, which is just bad. So this must have just been a mistake. Like this, I knew it was a mistake, again, based on my calculation, but the computer prefers my original plan. They prefer my original plan, which is what I wanted to do, is just go knight to E5. And if I lock down this position, I'm up a clear pawn. He has an overextended, overexposed pawn, and I'm in a very safe place. So what the fuck? This is what I should have gone into. Like, I knew this as well. Instead, I played this fucking ridiculous E4. And once I play E4, the game is completely equal. Ugh. He takes. He goes D takes, E4. Not surprising. My only move is knight takes, which I play. Play knight takes. They say he should actually play queen takes D4 here. I was going to then go knight takes, pawn takes is what I saw. But maybe, yeah. Just to show you guys over the board. If he played it here, I thought that, where are we? I thought that I would have knight takes knight. Okay, they're even saying that he would just go queen takes knight, and we would get this position. Ugh. Well, it's easy to see. I just totally fucked this game up. Anyway, he doesn't do that. He goes bishop takes. Once he goes bishop takes, I go bishop takes. And once we've reached this, he now goes pawn, queen takes pawn. And, yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this, commented. Once I kind of blundered here, I thought that I still had a slight advantage. I mean, plus 0.1 is nothing to speak home about, to write home about. But, yeah, I definitely fucked this one up a little bit. It looks like bishop G2 is slightly inferior to bishop F3. I don't know, maybe because I'm attacking the knight move. I don't know, but my move is not like all that inaccurate. It seems okay. A difference of 0.1, so it gets an excellent. And yeah, we're basically back to equals after I've butchered this game. Credit to Jamie, and I'm embarrassed for myself. He then plays H takes, which is up there. It's totally fine. My only move was H takes, of course. It's funny because he spent a while. This was where like the pawn dance happened, where there was a broken pawn. He took it off the board. He put it back on. I said, nope, I'm going to be taking that. Blah 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 blah. As we trade. And in this position, the computer wants him to play a5. This is something in the post game that James and I were talking about. We thought he needed to get his rooks into the game, his heavy pieces, with the idea. He was actually considering an idea of g6, king to g7, with the idea of rook h8. It was very slow, but I thought it was actually a good one because I have no threats here, so he would have had the time to kind of build up and do that. He doesn't do that. He plays knight g4 immediately, and again. Oh, it's funny. My move, what I thought ended the game, does not end the game at all. Rook e4 is not the game over punch. I should play rook a to d1, centralize my rook. Defending my knight. It's what I move I wanted to play, but I just thought that my move ended the game. And this is where I was like compulsive, and I just moved really fast. Damn. I mean, obviously my knight is defending the f2 square. He doesn't have the immediate threat. I need to just get this rook into the game. And that, I would have a clear +1 advantage. Instead, I play rook e4. I slam this on the board, and I'm like, haha, I'm winning. And the computer better give him a brilliant, because I think knight c5 is a brilliant move. It's got to be brilliant. Yeah, they consider it a great move. I mean, they don't give brilliance for stuff like that, but yeah, it was the only move in the position, and all of a sudden, I'm in a lot of trouble. Oh, so I missed the best move for white. Queen b6, pinning. Yeah, these like heavy, complex tactical positions are just not my bread and butter. Pinning the knight to his queen, so that if he takes my rook, I take his queen. So if he takes my rook, I take his queen. He then takes, and yeah, that's wild. That's what. And then if I go here, he would then take my knight. And then I would take his knight, I guess, on c5. What? Yeah. And then I would take his knight on c5. Well, I didn't see that, of course. The only move I saw was knight takes on c5. It looks like queen c4 works as well, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I was just really unhappy that I wasn't totally winning at this position. Instead, I take. Yeah, I mean, this is what I said. I said to Jamie, look, I don't think I was losing. I'm not losing, but this is a perpetual. And once he takes, my only move is king h1. What a game, everybody! What a game indeed that we are witnessing. His only move is queen f5, which is what he finds, and he's threatening the perpetuals. I blunder though. I think this is where I blunder. I play rook f4, which is not going to be good. I could have gone queen c3 here, defending the knight. That makes a lot of sense. I thought that I needed to even take. Yeah, rook takes on g4 is up there, and that's just an equals position. Instead, I am losing here. Oh. Well, everybody, let's find out and see how I'm losing. Queen check, g1, queen c5, h1. Oh, this is where he messed up, apparently. He needs to play... What's the follow-up? Queen h5, queen g1. Oh, and then say, like, rook a to e8, slowly bringing the other piece in while I'm kind of boxed in. Okay. So he has to just bring the other piece in. Once he plays the knight here, I then move up. I am still losing. He plays queen check. I block with the rook. It is the correct move. Rook h4. Sorry, I keep checking the recording just to make sure it's going through, because the last time I turned on the engine mid video, the whole video got corrupted. And I'm going to be honest, I really enjoyed these videos. I'm not doing this one twice. And we're actually almost done with the game, so I just want to make sure it's not frozen, basically. He's supposed to play queen e2 here. Hard move to find, that's for sure. Instead he plays knight g4, which is equal, or like equal to the best move. I move up, it's the only move. King h3. And the computer looks like all they really have is checks back and forth. Like this line they're suggesting, it says it's minus 0.9, it's not. This is a perpetual, but what they're showing here. Like, I don't know if you guys see this, but that is just a perpetual. So it's showing that he's better, but it's not. It's just a perpetual check. I play king h2. Because the move he needs to find is Queen E2. And if he plays Queen E2, then maybe he's got a real advantage with the up the pawn. But he doesn't find it. Instead, thankfully, I'm so glad Jamie blunders. The only, I play immediately the only move that's winning for white, of course. I seize my opportunity. I play Queen C2, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Cool. Yeah, knight G4 check. I mean, he's losing the knight. I take. Obviously, I mean, I wonder if even that was a blunder when I gave up the rook, because like it leads to the checkmate anyway. I actually don't think the computer's gonna dink me for that, even though I did blunder a rook. But I blundered in the rook when it was like not necessary anymore. Here, the computer likes Queen F2. Do they not like my move? It's not accurate, but it's also just still so winning, is the thing. Yeah, because I thought trade. Basically, I mean, I'm sure you guys see this, but Queen takes on C3, and then B takes on C3. And I just thought that this was a very simple endgame for me to win. Because, yeah, let's say my man moves and attacks the pawn. I would just start trading these pawns, and yeah, he could maybe take on C3. And I would take on B7, and I thought we'd get this kind of position where his C-pawn's really weak. My bishop will be able to lance at and attack. I can gang up my pieces on, for F7, squeezle this one on this way. This pawn's probably going to fall, and this would just be very simple for me to win. Instead, he keeps the queens on, so I play rook H4. They don't even like it best, but I just don't think it matters here. Again, threatening checkmate. F6 is his only move. He plays F6, it's his only move. They love my move. Rook E1, it's the best move. Bring it into the action. Okay, cool. And like you guys know what happens here. Not a whole lot of mystery of what, I'm not going to give myself too many plaudits and laudits over here. This was pretty simple, kind of maneuvering this way. Unfortunately, Jamie blunders. He misses it. I follow through with bishop e6. He's low on time, and the game is over here. Yeah. Takes. Oh! I am playing the checkmate. Oh! Okay, I don't actually think they're going to dink me for the rook sacrifice, you could say. Really, it was a blunder, but that's okay. Cool, and I find the mate. Okay. Well, that's going to be the video. I guess I'm going to do the review real quick, and then, up here, and then checkmate. Cool. All right, and I do find the checkmate, so that's actually pretty... Actually, that finish was pretty good. Let me do the review. We're going to see how well I did at this point. I've got Hikaru coach now. 84.7% is not bad. Again, I said it before, anytime I have an 85% accuracy, I'm happy. Jamie missed his chance. He was winning at that point. I thought I had a comfortable game, and I threw it away. Thankfully, Jamie blundered it, and I did convert. Not my greatest. Played the opening well, at least. I do think that his move deserved a brilliant, though. Like, he's not going to get it from this, but he's going to get it from me. That's for sure. All right, let's just close out the video. I guess the last little note is over here. Let's find out schedule, calendar. I finished on 2.5 points. I've been doing pretty well, but not phenomenally. 2.5 points out of 4. I finished the same score as Haley and Eric Vickers. I didn't play either of them. Severin won the tournament with Joshua Mueller. Not surprising. I'm sure he's going to be bumping up. I mean, he actually won't be allowed to play in this one anymore. Yeah. I rode the tee back with Nathan Jones. I think he'll be slightly higher than 1,500. I think he's a good player. He finished on 2 points as well. He lost to Haley. He showed me the end game. It was like a time scramble. I'll play the U1900s again next week. There's no reason I won't. Eventually, I've got to win this one eventually. I can't move up until I do. I think I'm making progress. My rating, this doesn't even include my quad performance. I think my rating will probably be like 1550, something like that. I'm hoping to cross 1600 pretty soon. But yeah, I'm gonna stop recording here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Have a good night.